There it goes. All right, now we're ready to go. So what we're going to do, you saw that there were 3 ghost characters on there. We're going to start with one in the middle, and then we'll get this one and this one. We're just going to do an outline to start. So here's what this outline is going to look like. I'm going to come down a little ways from the top, and I'm going to put an upside down U, just like that. Okay? It's not a perfect U. I can actually go a little darker so you can see it. But that's bigger than my thumb. See, if I put my thumb in there, you see that there's room around it. Okay, so don't make it too small. And then I'm going to come up, and I'm going to go down and put a little whoop right at the end. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Go up, go down, put a little whoop right at the end. Okay, so it's a squiggly line is what it looks like right now. So that should be pretty easy to do. Then I'm going to do another one up here that's going to be similar, but I'm going to start with the little whip and work my way through it. I'm going to stretch out over the top of this, and then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to lean that U shape over this way, diagonal over that way, and then I'm going to bring a really steep one up and bring it down like that. So it's kind of weird looking. This will all make sense eventually. All right, enough whooping. All right, now down here we got to put one more down here. This one's going to be a little different. I'm going to come around like this, make almost like a little balloon shape, and then just bring it off over this way. Looks like a little balloon coming off of there. Okay. Now we got hopefully evenly spread across our paper, so we don't have, this is clear over on this side, this clear over on this side, and this is basically in the middle. If you got everything piled up to one side and there's a whole bunch of space right here, you need to move your characters over a little bit. Okay. So this is just basically the head and where the arms are going to go, except for that one. That one's not finished yet. So to do this, we're going to make a big teardrop shape. It's going to come to a point where we're going to use a curved line. So I'm going to follow this on around, and I'm going to curve this line this way. And I'm coming around this side, and I'm going to bring it to a point, just like that. Okay. Make sure you're looking up at the board so you know which way you're going with it. And then I'm going to put a body on this one, and it's going to make like an S shape. So I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to curve around and come back that way. So you look, there's an S right there. Big S shape. And I'm going to bring this body around. I'm going to draw it lightly. And then it gets narrow as we get to the end. Just like that, I've got 2 bodies drawn on there. And this is just a letter S. When you go home tonight and your parents say, "What'd you learn in art today?" He says, "We did a big S drawing." Okay, make sure you emphasize the word S. Don't mispronounce it. But you'll get their attention either way. Then we need to put a body on this one. This one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to come right off of this side, come out, bring it over, bring it back. Try to make that one line like that. Okay, this is just so we have the placement correct on our paper. This is not detailed stuff at all. It's just showing us where on our paper we're going to put our stuff. Does anybody need more time to get to this point of completion? Am I getting ahead of anybody? If I am, raise your hand so I know to slow down. Okay, go ahead. Get caught up here, and then you two that raised your hand, give me a thumbs up so I know. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be similar to what we got here, okay? I'm not going to get out like a little micrometer and measure it or anything, so. But I do think you'll like how this stuff looks in the end. So right here, I'm going to make a big teardrop shape just like this. And make sure you got space between here and the edge and here and the edge. This is the opening, like if you had a ghost or a Grim Reaper or something. This is the opening where the face would go, okay? So you need to have a little volume around it. You need to have a little space around it. You don't want it going all the way to the edge. And I'm going to put one in here too. I'm going to make this one just a little bit longer. And it's another teardrop shape. Now we haven't done one down here yet, and this is going to be a little bit different. Is anybody still catching up? Okay, I'll give you a second. Right, turn around. Okay, for this one, we've already got the opening drawn. We're just going to come around it like this. And we're going to go all the way around it. I got to turn my paper so it's easier for me to get this curve. So here's the little part that's different. We're going to come around and go right through that line and then just bring this down and stop it. And then where that line comes through here, I'm going to erase that out. Hopefully that made sense to you. I'll bring that down close so you can see what we did. So we went to the outside of that shape we already did, bring it across this line, and then erase that line out of there. And this next part is going to be a little different because we're going to come off. This is just about the middle of the head right here. If this is the top, this is the bottom, this is about the middle. I'm going to come around here. I'm going to bring a line that comes around here like this, and then one that comes closer right here, comes like this, goes right in front of the body, and I'm going to bring this down here like that. And I'm just going to leave this one here really light. I don't want to draw that one very dark. This one can be a little darker, but this one just draw it light. And then I'm going to erase out that body line that would be inside that. So like if that continued on across there, this is about where it would come to. You gotta kind of visualize that in your head a little bit. And this will all make sense in a little while. This one's probably the most complex one, and this isn't all that complex. Okay, if you followed step by step, you should be all right with that. Bring it up just a little so you can see. Now this first part doesn't really look like a ghost or like much. It's what we're going to do shortly after this. It's going to change it and make it look pretty dang cool actually. And the neat part is it's not very hard to do. This is drawing this part, doing this across our page. This is the hardest, most technical part of the whole thing. So if you can draw these pretty simple teardrop shapes and a couple squiggly lines, you're in pretty good shape. So right here, I'm going to come and bring a line that comes back up to the side of my head. partly where his shoulder's going to be right there. And then I'm going to bring another line that's just like this shape, and I'm going to bring it off right here and just make it a little bit shorter. Same shape, okay? Just make sure you got some space between these two. So it's basically this shape, same shape exactly, same kind of line. So I'll leave that for a second while you get caught up. I hope I don't get going too fast. It's just I get excited about this one because I know how cool it's going to look, and it's a fun one to do. And you don't even have to be able to draw really well to do this one. This one's for all kinds of different levels of ability. But when it's finished, it looks really cool. Okay, does anybody need more time? I don't see any hands. Let's start having some fun with this now. So this is where it gets a little bit crazy. I'm just going to scribble, just like this, and I want it to go in different lengths. The important thing is, when I'm scribbling right now, I don't want it all to look like I just took a pair of scissors and cut it straight. See how this one's longer and this one's shorter, and these, I just want it to go and then bring it down to the body. Just do that one time. Make sure you're not doing these little short. These are fairly long. These are like inch long to half inch. Don't do like little teeny short ones. Over here, I'm going to do the same thing, and they kind of follow this curve a little bit. They curve this way, and then they keep curving that way, and then I'm going to get down here, and I'm going to have them go the other way a little bit. So I'm going to go this way, making sure that I have some that are short and some that are long. It's almost like little angel wings. So basically, we're just scribbling. You're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and just putting a little bit of a flow to it instead of just going straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. You don't want to do that, okay? I'll back them off a little. Did anybody have any trouble with that? Were we okay? If you had some trouble, bring it to me real quick so we can see what you did and we can fix it real fast. But see what you got. You're fine. You're just going to need a few more. So instead of just big wide ones, a bunch of little ones too. Okay. You see how I can just go right over that? Just hold it. It's going to be fine. Okay. You're good. Don't have to do anything. All right. Now we're going to go down the body, and to do this, I'm going to come along the side here, and I'm just doing the same thing I did before. Keep it uneven, but let it follow the flow on around. Don't go straight up and down, straight up and down, straight up and down. This curves around, so make sure that your scribble curves around. And I'm seeing some places where I got everything kind of the same length, so I'm just adding some. And this is just really random type scribble, okay? Which is kind of the fun part about it, is you don't have to be too exact with it. Now I'll come on the other side and I'm going to do the same thing, just random scribble. And try to keep it out of this one here. I'm just going lines back and forth. Now my main concern when we did this is I think some of you probably didn't get enough of this in here, so watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to come in and put a bunch more in. I'm just going back and forth. I'm not even doing a zigzag. I'm picking my pencil up, in, out, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, in, out, just kind of following the direction that I did before, but I'm just putting lines in. Just a few lines down here, because I just got to make sure that there's enough. I want it to look really hairy right now, okay? Okay, here's where it's going to get a little bit different. I'm going to just find some places where it kind of comes together like a little V shape. I'm just going to make a few of them darker. So if I see two lines that come together and make like a V, just like that, I'm just going to make the tip a little bit darker on it. That's all I'm doing. And I'm not doing all of them, just a few here and there. Come out here, a little V. This one's almost done all by itself right there. Bring another one right here. And I'm putting a little bit of space between them. I don't want them like touching all of them. Okay, and then do that kind of on the tail end here a little bit, and then come over here and do the same thing. Just randomly picking some of them. And I'm still kind of keeping scribbly. I'm not being real precise, just kind of going the same direction that my scribble was going and making a few spots are just a little darker than the rest. There's a reason for that, and you're going to see it here in just a second. So it's almost like he's got burnt ends on stuff right now. Okay. Okay, and then there's one last area that I'm going to darken in just a little bit. I'm going to come inside here and make this a medium dark. I don't want this black, but I want it fairly dark. Okay, just don't go black. Just make it like a medium dark. Just color it all in even for right now. And then before we go in and make this all textured and looking a lot like a ghost, we've got one last little place to color, and then we're going to go to town on it. So follow the top edge of your wing on both sides and just come in here and just color along it. That's all I'm doing, is putting a little color. Don't press too hard, but we just don't want that to be a little skinny line. I'm just putting a little bit of graphite down on my paper just to, I don't want to fill it in all the way down to here. I'm just putting a little bit on this edge. Don't put a hard line through here though. This is more like coloring, not like putting lines on there. It's just coloring is all we're doing. Okay, so we just colored it to make it kind of a thicker line is what we did. Once that's done, now the fun starts. Okay, I want you to take your paper towel or your Kleenex or whatever you have, fold it over a time or two, and all you're trying to do is just create a corner. So that when you've got it folded over several times, now you have a little corner like that. That's all we're trying to do. Nothing technical, it's just a corner is all we're trying to create. And that way, when I fold it in half this way, I can put my finger in here, and I've got a little point. You know, I've got my finger buried in the point here, so that when I come in here and I go inside this face, I can kind of control it. I'm just going to smooth that up inside the face. And it might go outside my lines a little bit, but I don't care. Doesn't matter. I just want to smooth it out. That's all I'm trying to do. And here, after we get that smoothed out, we're going to go on the wings and the body, and this is where this turns into something neat. Okay, now I'm going to come over here to this wing. Remember how I put that little fuzzy line just coloring up here? Now I'm going to bring that right down. I'm going to smear that right onto the rest of the wing there like that. I'm going to do the same thing over here. That's why I didn't want that to be a hard line right there, because I just wanted to smear it. I can bring some up from the bottom, some down from the top. I just got it smeared, just filled it in is all I did with my Kleenex. Okay, that's the first step. Now the fun step. But is everybody here, or do you need me to wait just a second before I go to this next one? Okay, I'll hang off for just a second, because the next part's kind of the important part that makes this all look really kind of neat. So there's a two-step process. We're about to do step one, and then we'll come back in to step two, and this will look pretty killer. Right now, it all looks really kind of flat because we just rubbed it smooth, so now it's kind of flat looking, but we're going to give it some texture here in a second. All right, here's where it gets a little crazier. This is what we're going to do. Does anybody need more time? Just tell me real quick here. Two of you? All right. Just give me a thumbs up the second you're ready to go. All right, here we go. We're going to come down here, and I'm going to press down and lift up. Press down and lift up, press down and lift up, and I'm going in the same direction as my scribbles. And then I'm just going to go back and forth a little bit. Press down, lift up, let it just go right on past where I drew. And then here, as I go down the body, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm not going to get too far outside the body. I'm just trying to smear it and smear it into the body. And back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, lifting up. And I'm going to come all around where the head is up here, smear that all in so it's not just white. This is going to be one big blurry drawing here in just a second. Okay, now it's just one big fuzzy looking drawing. But the magic happens, this is step one. The second part of the magic happens when we come in with our eraser, though. And it's okay if it's just a little lighter through the center, or you can just even it out. Just take your Kleenex and even it out. Doesn't matter. It's what we do with the eraser that matters here in a second. Some of you, this is going to turn out awesome. It's going to look as good or better than what I just demonstrated. Some of you, it's not going to look quite like it, but it'll still look pretty good. If you even remotely followed what I showed you how to do, it should turn out all right. Now here's where I love this part of this project. It doesn't matter whether you got an eraser like this or an eraser like this. Either one will work. On here I'm going to use that little edge there. On here I'm going to use the tip. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here like this, and I'm going to draw in some lines just with my eraser, just like that. I'm going in the same direction as all my scribble was, but now it totally changes the edge and the texture of that. And I'm going to come in this side and do the same thing. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm not going to bring it all the way to the middle. Just back and forth, so we changed it up. And that starts to give it a raggedy edge. And after I've done the body, I'll come in here and do the wings the same way, following the direction of my scribbles. And that's why it was kind of important to go ahead and let it smear outside, you know, towards the bottom, out in here. Because when I come in here and do the wing now, kind of draws all that stuff back in there. Makes it a little more spooky looking. going to just go ahead and clean it off a little bit. We'll pause there just for a second while you get caught up, because we're going to do some refinement on it now. We have the basic shape of the ghost drawn now. It's basic form and shape and texture. Now we just got to do a little refinement. And I'm telling you, this is actually pretty cool because it's really not that hard. Once you get the technique down of basically putting your head and arms on it and then a body, then coming in and scribbling in the direction and the flow that you want on there and then smear it, it gets pretty easy to create. And don't get too hung up on trying to make it look perfect just now. It's more about learning the method and the technique. As we go on to the next one and the next one, you can get a little bit better with each one. Of course, you want to try your best to do your best on this, but if it's not perfect, don't lose sleep over it kind of thing. This is a technique learning process today. And as you get more used to the technique, your stuff will get better and better and better. Okay, does anybody need more time before we start to refine? Okay. And if you raised your hand, try to get caught up fairly quick, because we're trying to beat the clock a little bit. Let me see yours, just for fun. No, I bet not. You just got a little bit dark, that's all. So, because it is so dark, just take your eraser in there and erase a little harder so that you've got more contrast. And what you learn from this one is don't draw that first line so dark. We don't really want to see it when it's done, okay? It'll go a lot better if you keep your lines light. Okay? Your scribble can be kind of dark, but not your body lines. Okay, so here's what we're going to do inside the head. I'm going to come around the edge again where the opening was. I'm going to put that line back in there so I can see it. And then the top part, I'm going to color in a little bit darker, just like this. And I'll bring that down close so you can see exactly what I'm doing. See how I have kind of a half curve shape in there? And that part is really dark up there, and then it curves right here. Then when I take my Kleenex back in here, or my paper towel, just get a little corner in there, I'm just going to kind of bring that together with the bottom and soften that a little bit. So all I want that to look like is it's a little bit darker on top and then fades into the lighter stuff. That makes it look like it goes back just a little bit. I said we're going to come along here and do some fine tuning. So we need to put some folds coming across this. So like this is going to come across here. And with my eraser, I'm just going to come across this way like that. And then right here, I'll stop right there and come around here like this and bring that up towards the top of the head. Okay, it's just around the face right there. And then where the head and shoulder meet, I'm going to bring another one. It comes right around here like this, down towards that fold. And then I'm going to come around here where the head and shoulder meet, my eraser, and do that again, just right there like that. We're just putting some wrinkles on him, but we're drawing it with the eraser right now. And it's pretty neat because most of the time you think, oh, an eraser's for cleaning up mistakes and things. It's actually a drawing tool as well. So we're learning how to make it a drawing tool today. This part between this wrinkle and this wrinkle coming up the back of the head right here, I just want this just a little bit darker because it is the back of the head. So I'm just going to darken that a little bit with my pencil, just coloring it in. We've been practicing lots of coloring. I'm going to come underneath the wrinkle and color that in a little bit. That's why it's important not to scribble. And I'm going to come over here and color this just a little bit, so it's a little bit darker. And now it doesn't look like the rest because it's a different texture. So I'm going to take my Kleenex here, or paper towel. Probably should use a paper towel, works better actually. Get that little point right there so I can get into small areas. And then I'm just going to go over that spot that I just colored in and just soften it and blur it out so it's more like the rest of it. So now it's all kind of the same texture. It's just a little bit darker right there. Now some of you got really dark out here and you don't have a contrast of medium and dark. If you're really dark, don't do what I'm going to do next. If you're got something similar to this where you got dark and lights, just come in here in some of these darker ones, bring them out just a little further. I'm only going to darken them a little bit, and I'm just bringing some length out here. Just picking a few of them. This one's already pretty good. Do this one just a little bit more. Don't necessarily want this to be black, I just want it to be darker than the area around it. Do the same thing on this side. We'll practice this a little bit more tomorrow. The more we do it, the easier it'll get for you, and eventually some of you are going to get really, really good at it, actually. Kind of as you figure out, okay, this is what I need to do, you kind of know where you're going with it now. You know, today you didn't have any idea what we were going to do with it. But later, as you go, okay, I kind of get it. We got to have lights and darks, not everything be the same. So right now, I'm going to just try to soften that stuff back up that I just did, that I just made darker. Just going to rub over it once or twice is all. I'm not trying to rub it real hard, just enough to soften it up a little bit. Do the same thing on this side. Just trying to soften up, and then right here around this bright stuff on the head, I'm just going to barely rub that just a little bit with my paper towel Kleenex, just so it's not bright white on those folds. Just make it more of a light gray just by barely rubbing on it. Now some things to check on your drawing. If you drew this part, the body, or the inside of the head, any of this stuff, if you drew that with a super dark line and it's showing through on your ghost, what do you need to do the next time?
Draw it lighter.
Just draw it lighter, guys, okay? And I'm sure that that's happened on several of yours. So just make sure your lines are lighter to start with. And then they won't show through, because as soon as you start to rub it with the paper towel, it'll make them go away, okay? So I'm going to come right here, come around this little fold right there, make that just a little darker, just making that a little darker so you can see it, making that little wrinkle a little bit darker. Basically that ghost is more or less done. Now we're going to go down here and do this ghost the same way, but we're going to go a lot faster this time because we've already seen kind of what we're going to do. So let's quickly just fill in the head, that medium gray. And it doesn't even matter if we get it perfectly filled in, as long as it's mostly, because you know you're going to rub it anyway, and it's going to kind of fill in all the little holes. Then when I do the arms on this one, I'll start clear out here, and just bag them forward, kind of like bird arm thing. And stop when I get to the body. Make some a little longer. Just Just make sure you stop before you get to this arm. And on this upper part, I'm just going to color a little bit in. I've got a wrinkle here, so I'm going to color that just a little dark. And I got the wrinkle that comes around the head right there, and then the body coming around, just making that a little dark. Hopefully you saw all that. I went kind of fast there. I am going to go a little faster on this one because it's not anything really new that we're doing. It's just a different shape. So I'll give you a little chance to get that on there. The other nice thing about this is we're smearing all over, making a mess. I'll even show you how to make this look more like clouds in the background, and our fingerprints and smearing are actually going to become part of the drawing, sort of. Very rare we can do that, but today we can do it on this one. Okay, if we have this arm done, I'm only going to color a little bit of this one right on the top of the arm, but I'm going to stop when I get to where the body would have been, right here. I don't want to take that all the way back up here. There's a reason, and you'll see why in a minute. Now we'll go ahead and we're just going to do the same thing. Scribble back and forth. But here it's going to change direction just a little bit and go up this way. So it's almost like a bird wing. And right up to the back of the head there. I just, well, get that scribbled on, then I noticed the line we got erased, but let's just get it scribbled on first. Does anybody want to take a guess what line I need to get rid of? Where do you think I got to get rid of it? She's saying right up in here, right here? Yep, that line right there, guys, if you have a line right there between the arm and the neck, that does need to go away. Whoop, it's all gone. Okay, underneath this line that comes around the fold, we'll just darken that in just a little bit right there. Okay. We'll see you guys. Rainey, I liked your hunting outfit today. The camouflage. All right, here's the nice thing. Down the back here, we're not going to make it all hairy looking. I'm coming to the outside of my line, so my line's here. I'm coming to the outside, and I'm just putting a fuzzy back on it, bring it down to a point right there. Kind of like what we did up here on the top of those shoulders. I'm just doing that because I want this to be slightly wider, so I'm just adding a little bit to the back. And on the bottom side is where I'm going to do the zigzag going, okay? But it follows, it's almost like you're drawing little bird feathers on this, like a real raggedy bird. Now I'm going to just come in and darken just a few of those areas in, just so it breaks it up, so it's not all the same darkness. Some's dark, some's light. I think you got the idea now where it's just random. Leave a little space between them so they're not all the same. Lots of scribbling. This is actually called controlled scribble. It is scribbling, but you're controlling the direction of your scribble. You're not just randomly going all over spastic on your page. You kind of have an idea where you want to go with it. Okay, as most of you can probably figure out, because we've already done this before, I'm just going to go ahead and get my corner ready. I come in, I'm going to do the inside of that head real quick, just smooth that out. Now I'll just kind of lightly go around it just to make it so it's not bright white around it. I'm just kind of smearing around. If I go outside my lines a little bit, that doesn't matter, it's a ghost. Okay. Just kind of blurring that back. And then do just like I did before, start at the top of the arm here. Soften that, top of this arm, follow right up around that way. Then just back and forth, bring it down past the ends of those. I want to just smear everything. Just still going, when I smear though, I'm going in the direction of my lines that I made. Get this up here so I can kind of blend this in a little bit more. And I don't like that. I want that to blend a little more in, so I'll just take my pencil and bring it down just a little bit more. Smear that in. Smear that tail off, kind of coming off the end. Okay, we got them all smeared up now. He's getting closer. Now we just come in and darken just a few of those areas because they lightened up when we smear it, right? Just do a few of them. Don't want to go too crazy with it. What I don't want is just to have everything be kind of light or medium. You want a few things to be just a little darker, just to break it up a little bit. I'm not going too crazy with it, but just a few here and there. Just like that. Okay, so now I got lights and darks. Then I can bring, I don't know why that's not focusing. Okay, then I can bring my eraser in. Actually, I want to rub that a little bit more though. It's a little bit light right there. Now is when we bring the eraser in and it makes it look cooler than everything else. So we just up and down, lifting it up. Along this top edge of this arm, watch what I do here. Everybody pay attention. I'm going to go right along the top with my eraser and bring it down. See how that separates that from that? And I'm drawing it with the eraser instead of with a pencil. Then I'll come in here and do these. I'll come along the back end here. Hopefully you're having a little fun doing it. If you're stressing out too much over it, you're probably overthinking it on this one. Then around the folds up here, around the face, same thing we did before. We're going to go right near the face opening, kind of highlight that. Come on that fold, this fold right here. I might darken this in just a little bit because it's between the arm and the head fold. And we got a few fingerprints out here and smudges, but it doesn't matter, okay? Because we're going to make this kind of cloudy back there when we finish it. I don't know how your stuff looks yet. I will look at it here in just a minute. But for today, that's all the more we need to get done today. Tomorrow, we'll finish it up, and then you're going to have some practice time that I think you'll enjoy.